제프가 제일 좋아하는 AWS 서비스는 뭔가요? 한 개만 딱 꼽아주세요.
Wow, it's that's like saying choose my favorite child or my favorite grandchild, which of course wouldn't want to do.
근 20년 가까이 아마존에 근무하시면서 AWS의 시작을 함께 하신 분입니다. 바로 제프바 부사장님이신데요. AWS의 역사와 또 주요 서비스, 또 클라우드에 대한 공부 방법, 경력 개발 팁 이런 것들을 주제로 한번 이야기를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 안녕하세요, 제프. 이렇게 참여해 주셔서 감사합니다. 아마 처음으로 AWS 한국 고객분들과 직접 만나시는 것 같은데요. 자기 소개와 함께 어떤 일을 하고 계신지 좀 소개 부탁드립니다.
Sure. Well, Chatty, thanks so much for having me today. I sure wish I could be there in person, but understand why I cannot. So my name is Jeff Barr. I have the title of Vice President and Chief Evangelist, and my job is really, I think, somewhat unique and very enjoyable. I get to work with many different teams across AWS to understand what they're building, and then I get to write blog posts and just describe all these amazing services and offerings that our teams build. So I basically understand and learn, and then I get to share, which I think is, we'll talk maybe later about that, but I think that's just a really good model of how we can go about doing a lot of different things. Understand something and then share it with your audience.
네, 감사합니다. 주 업무가 블로그 작성이라고 하셨는데 주로 집에서 업무를 하시더라고요. 요즘 팬데믹으로 이제 회사가 아닌 집에서 일을 하는 개발자분들이 많으신데요. 저도 그렇고. 예전에 보니까 이 원격 데스크탑 서비스는 아마존 워크스페이스의 강팬이시라고 하시던데 어떻게 원격으로 일을 하시는지 좀 소개해 주시겠습니까?
Well, great question. So I am a very long-time fan of workspaces, and to rewind just a little bit, one of the things that has worked very well for me as I write blog posts is that I always have to get actual hands-on experience with whatever service I might be using. So the team gives me all the information that describes the service, and it says, well, it's like this and it does that, but I always actually want to use it myself. And so Workspaces was no exception. And I think before I used Workspaces, the understanding was that, well, if your desktop is not local, well, then maybe it's going to be slow, or maybe there's going to be a lot of latency. And so when I first started using it, I tried it out a little bit, and this is, of course, before it was launched for our customers. And it worked really well. It was fast, it was responsive. Even though I'm mostly working from home right now and go to the office just occasionally, the fact that I can be here, I've got a bunch of apps on the screen, and then I don't even disconnect or log off from here. I get up, I go to the office. My workspace is my central operating environment, and I've been incredibly happy with it over the years.
네, 좋은 팁 감사합니다. 저도 재택근무를 많이 하는데 도움이 많이 되네요. 제가 알기로는 한 15년 전인 2006년도에 한국의 웹 2.0 기술 컨퍼런스 기조연설 발표자로 한번 방한하신 걸로 아는데요. 혹시 당시 한국 방문에 대한 기억이 있으신가요?
Yeah, so a long time ago, I think it was kind of early in 2006, as I recall. I made a trip to Seoul, and I remember it as a really interesting city. It was a little challenging for me to get around, not knowing how to read or speak the language a bit, but I remember having a really good time there. I met a lot of good developers. I walked around the city a bit, and went to some markets, had some really good Korean food. So I had a really good time there. One thing I remembered as I was preparing is I remember getting to the hotel and connecting up my laptop for the first time, and it actually connected with gigabit speed, which back in 2006, that was a really impressive connection to have in that hotel.
오래전이지만 저도 그날 뵙고 인사했던 기억이 납니다. 그 당시에 아마존이 서비스하고 있는 오픈 API를 이제 소개해 주셨었죠. 저도 큰 감명을 받고 제가 당시 일하던 다음에서 이 오픈 API 서비스를 시작한 계기가 되기도 했는데요. 어떻게 아마존에서 이 웹 API 서비스를 시작하게 됐는지 좀 얘기해 주세요.
Well, at that point, we just had a very few services. We had some e-commerce services. We had access to the Amazon product catalog. But the great thing that I think is really the same, we really focus on developers. And so I always look, whenever you give some APIs and some services out to developers, you want to hand those off and say, start thinking, start using your imagination, be creative and see what you can build. And that was true back then when we had that first e-commerce service, and it's true today with over 200 services.
아, 당시 아마존 API 서비스와 지금의 AWS 클라우드 서비스에서 바라보는 이 개발자에 대한 철학이 똑같다는 점이 진짜 감명 깊습니다. 주로 이제 지금 하시는 업무가 이 AWS 서비스와 기능을 소개하는 이제 블로그를 작성하는 것이라고 하셨는데요. 이제 어떻게 블로그를 시작하게 되셨는지 좀 얘기해 주시겠어요?
Let's see. So I think I started the AWS blog. I started writing it in 2004, and at that point we had the e-commerce service. We had some plans in place where we were already working on storage and compute and networking and database. At that point, I was the only evangelist, and I was already very, very busy with a single service. And I started to say, well, I'm going to have all these services. How can I do a better job of sharing them, not just at my live audiences, but how can I get them out to a global audience? And so in late 2004, I think it was November 2004, I started writing the AWS News blog. And when we launched SQS and then S3 and EC2, I started to, and the interesting thing is there was really no model or a plan of how do you do a successful blog for product launches. So there was a lot of experimentation to figure out, does it come from me? Does it come from the company? Does it come from the team? And after some experimentation, I decided, well, it's really kind of person-to-person communication when you're writing a blog.
아, 네. 15년간 뭐 수천 개의 블로그 글을 작성한 걸로 압니다. 많은 AWS 개발자분들이 이 제프의 블로그 글 스타일을 진짜 좋아합니다. 예. 그 블로그 쓰시는 어떤 비결이 있으실까요?
I remember the first blog post I wrote to announce S3. It was a pretty simple post. It was really just a couple of paragraphs, but it was very clear and direct and straightforward. It simply said, here's a service, here's what it is, here's what it can do for you, here's how you can use it, here's how you pay for it. And then just really, I look at these kind of announcements as really an invitation. You say, I've given you this interesting service. Well, I now invite you to think of some great ways that you can put it to use. So you go through those early services, SQ, SQS, S3, EC2. Each of those was simply, here's what we've got, and I invite you to take a look, give it a try, put it to use if it works for you.
아, 역시 심플 이즈 베스트라는 말씀이시군요. 블로그를 하는 많은 개발자분들에게 이게 좋은 팁이 될 것 같습니다. 그동안 AWS의 발전 과정을 쭉 이제 살펴보셨는데요. 제프가 보시기에 가장 중요한 이정표가 되는 서비스를 좀 여쭤볼까 하는데요. 어떤 걸 먼저 뽑아주실 수 있을까요?
You know, there's a couple that really stand out to me. The first one I think is the VPC, the Virtual Private Cloud. So when we launched EC2, there was a relatively simple networking model. We definitely had the important parts. We had IP addresses, we had security groups, we gave the idea that you could control access to your instances. But customers looked at that and said, well, our corporate networks are a little bit more complicated, and we need some fine-grained control over how maybe we can create a big network, we can create subnets, we want to be able to control access between those. So I think that at the point when we launched the VPC, that the audience started to look at AWS in a whole different way and say, this is not just some simple servers. This is something very rich and very sophisticated, and this is something that we can really use to work at an enterprise complexity and an enterprise scale.
아, 네. 아마존 VPC를 처음으로 뽑아주셨네요. 컴퓨팅 분야에서도 뭐 가상 서버 인스턴스나 컨테이너, 서블리스 등 이제 다양한 이제 서비스 옵션이 있는데요. 이 컴퓨팅 분야에서도 하나 이제 꼽아주시죠.
So I'd say VPC is maybe one of the first. I do still think that serverless is a very big deal. And when we look at serverless, we don't have a long history. Lambda is still less than 10 years old, but it's changed the way people think about building applications. Yes, there's still applications where you want to launch an instance and you want to have a server and you want to install your application on that and scale up and scale down in server-sized units. But this idea of being serverless and really saying, all I really care about is my application architecture and my code. I'm going to trust on the Lambda environment to host my code, to run it, to scale it, to deal with all the operating system issues. I really just want to do my job of writing code. I don't want to deal with all those details of managing servers. We started that out with Lambda. We've made a lot of really amazing, I think, improvements to Lambda over the intervening years since we launched it. But it still feels like serverless it's still getting started. We've started to really apply that label to serverless databases, for example. You talk about the various different serverless components, and really taking more of the complexity out of the system, and more giving more time to developer to put their unique contribution in.
아, 네, 감사합니다. 네, 최근에는 또 인공지능, 뭐 기계학습 이 영역의 기술도 이 클라우드와 많이 접목이 되고 있는데요. 인공지능 처음 공부하시는 분들은 또 어떤 서비스를 좀 눈여겨봐야 될까요?
The third one, I'd probably maybe just kind of draw a big picture around AI and ML, and maybe zoom in a bit on SageMaker and say, well, SageMaker is a wonderful tool for first learning about how to design your own models and test and train your own models, but then also helps you with the understanding, with the evaluation, and even with the deployment of your models. So again, AI and ML, very, very young fields. We don't have decades of experience with them, but something that our customers are finding incredibly useful, and that we still continue to invest heavily in and continue to launch new features for.
아, 네, 감사합니다. 네, AWS의 주요 이정표가 되는 서비스 몇 가지를 이야기해 주셨는데요. 제가 AWS 진짜 좋아하는 개발자분들을 만나면 이 꼭 물어보는 질문이 있거든요. 제프한테 물어보겠습니다. 제프가 제일 좋아하는 AWS 서비스는 뭔가요? 한 개만 딱 뽑아주세요.
Wow, it's that's like saying choose my favorite child or my favorite grandchild, which of course wouldn't want to do. That I wouldn't say that there's one that is the favorite, which if I could only do one, I would use. But I still remember when we launched the Relational Database Service, or RDS, being at a customer right after we launched RDS. And at the customer, I was able to actually give them a demo. I created a database instance in a couple minutes, and I launched it. I waited for it to come up, which took 5 minutes or so. I logged in, showed them how to do some queries, and they looked at each other kind of in this kind of funny way. And being an outsider, I didn't fully understand why they were so surprised. And I said, "What's up? What are you all talking about?" And they said, "Well, we've been asking our database admin to set us up a new database for 6 months, and they finally set it up for us, and they did it wrong. And in 5 minutes, you just showed us how to do it the right way." And so, I think at that point, I realized that RDS was really going to make databases a lot more accessible and a lot more easy to use for our customers.
아, 네. 기존에 온프라미스에서 관리가 힘들었던 데이터베이스 서비스에 대해서 이 클라우드의 역할에 대해 저도 완전히 동의합니다. 이 많은 개발자분들이 AWS가 좀 여전히 복잡하다, 뭐 배우기 어렵다 이렇게 말씀하시는 분들이 계세요. AWS를 처음 접하는 분들에게 어떻게 시작하면 좋을지 좀 팁이 있으시면 좀 알려주시면 좋겠습니다.
Well, I always advise that if you're a customer, you don't have to start by learning all 200 services. And I think it would actually be hard to even sit down and say, okay, name one, name two, name three. Would be really hard to do. So I always tell customers, pick one service, find something interesting and useful, build something with it, maybe put it into production. After you get that first good success, only then start thinking about the next service and the next service. So learn by doing, but learn at the point when you actually need to know about these services. If you were to tell yourself, I need to know something about every service before I can do anything, I don't think you'd ever actually get to the point of building. It's far better just to say, and maybe pick something straightforward. Pick Lambda or pick S3 or maybe DynamoDB, and say, I'm just going to build something. And maybe say, I'm going to build something today, not make some kind of a really long-term plan. Just say, I want a hello world, or I want just a simple database, or I want to handle an event, but I want to do it actually in a very controlled amount of time. And just get a good success, and then build on that success.
아, 네, 감사합니다. 이 서비스 몇 개만 가지고 이 레고 블록 조립하듯이 애플리케이션을 뚝딱 한번 만들어 보다. 요런 데 집중해라. 이런 말씀이셨습니다. 말이 나왔으니까 이 제프의 평소 취미가 무엇인지 좀 궁금한데요. 듣기로는 이제 레고 강팬이라고 알고 있거든요.
Well, let's say I have a lot of hobbies, but Lego is one of my favorite hobbies, and I like to use it for a couple different things. I enjoy being very creative with Lego, and you can't quite see it, but kind of over there in my office, I have maybe 200,000 Lego pieces, maybe more. But I like to use those for really creating new things. But sometimes I find it's very enjoyable just to buy a set and then just go through the directions 1, 2, 3, 4. Follow the directions and get the planned result. Because sometimes the interesting thing about creativity to me is you never quite know where you're going to end. And that's the fun part of creativity. It can also be a little bit, right word, not quite scary, but you never quite know the outcome until you get there. But sometimes a situation where you're just following all the steps and you get to the guaranteed result can actually be a little bit reassuring. So I combine both of those in my Lego hobby.
네, 역시 너드 기질이 있으시네요. 개발자에게 좋은 취미인 것 같습니다. 이야기를 좀 바꿔봐서요. 뭐 제프도 그렇겠지만 저는 이제 데이터 센터와 온프라미스 서버 환경에서 이제 개발을 시작했는데 요즘에는 아예 처음부터 클라우드 개발 환경에서 경력을 시작하는 개발자분들도 많은 것 같습니다. 그런 분들에게 앞으로의 이 경력 개발에 대한 어떤 조언을 해주실 수 있을까요?
Let's see. That's a really good question. Well, I would say that if you decide to learn about cloud and put cloud to use in your career, you're going to have a really long and fulfilling career because there's so many opportunities for you to learn and then put cloud skills to use. Like we always say at Amazon that we're still day one and we're just getting started. And I think even though parts of AWS are now 15 years old, we're still making big improvements to those services. We're still adding big, important new features. And so if you as a developer learn any service or a couple services or all the services even, you're going to be able to put that to use in so many different situations, you know, on your job, in your hobbies, as a consultant, as a teacher. Maybe you want to be a hero. Maybe you want to work in the community. It just seems to me that it's such a rich collection of different services that are I think relatively easy to use and to build applications with. It still feels like a really good time to learn the cloud and to get those skills and to just find a good way to put them to use.
네, 감사합니다. 네, 이 말씀 중에 그 직장에서 업무뿐만 아니라 이 개발자 커뮤니티 활동과 같은 외부 지식 공유 활동에 대해서도 언급하셨는데 업무 이외의 활동이 참 쉽지 않거든요. 왜 해야 될까요?
Sharing is one of my favorite things. I think it's so important. And I always tell people that one of my favorite tricks is you do something once and you can get paid for it twice. And you're getting paid that first time by acquiring that new skill. And then you take whatever you've learned and you share it in some way. You record a video, you do a tweet, you write a blog post, maybe you write a whole book, maybe you write some sample code, maybe you go to an event and you do a presentation. So that's not going to be twice as much work as that initial learning, but you're going to get value the first time from learning, and you're going to get some value, some attention, some reputation from that act of sharing. And you're also going to end up probably knowing it better because in that very process of being able to understand and then describe, you can't help but learn something even better than before. So I always tell people, put that little extra bit of energy into sharing whatever it is that you learn. And don't worry about if you say, well, why should I share my post about S3 or VPC or Lambda or SageMaker because someone else has done it? That's okay. Whatever you do, however you do it, the audience wants to ultimately learn from you. And they're going to build your unique style, your unique brand. Figure out your own way to actually create and then share this content.
네, 감사합니다. 네. 이 말씀하신 이제 지식 공유 활동의 중요한 축의 하나가 바로 오픈소스 소프트웨어인데요. 개발자들이 AWS와 관련된 업무를 가지고 오픈소스 활동을 기여할 수 있는 방법이 있나요? 혹시 AWS가 하고 있는 오픈소스 활동에 대해서도 좀 잠시 소개해 주시면 좋겠습니다.
There's an AWS GitHub repo that has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different projects in there. We have a very active open source community of a couple different ways. There's also lots and lots of sample code. There's entire projects, things like Firecracker, which is our very, very lightweight virtual environment. There's the various AWS SDKs and tools, and the command line interfaces are each open source as well. And we do accept pull requests. We do our best to be good members of the open source community as well.
네, 감사합니다. 지식 공유의 또 하나의 중요한 축이 이제 궁금한 점을 물어볼 수 있는 커뮤니티인데요. 이 개발자들은 주로 이제 뭐 구글링을 하거나 뭐 스택 오버플로우에다가 찾아서 문제를 해결하죠. 얼마 전에 AWS에도 리포스트라고 하는 이제 커뮤니티 기반의 Q&A 사이트가 오픈했다고 들었습니다. 이제 간단하게 한번 소개 좀 부탁드릴까요?
Introduce Repost. So Repost is basically a way to organize community input. And the way it works is that we allow our customers to ask questions on Repost, and then the questions are there for any knowledgeable person in the community to answer. We have AWS employees review the answers, but also if there's a question there that for some reason is not or can't be answered by the community, then AWS employees will jump in and do their best to help out as well. So the idea is it's community centric with additional help from AWS.
네. 한국 분들도 많이 이용하면 좋겠네요. 그리고 오늘 오신 분들 중에는 이제 이 클라우드 서비스를 처음 배우기 시작하는 분들도 많으신데요. 이제 처음에 어떻게 AWS를 배우면 좋을까요? 노하우가 있으시면 좀 공유 부탁드릴게요.
Well, let's see. I would say just don't get overwhelmed by the number of different services and number of different APIs. And it's better to learn something than to learn nothing at all. And even if you open up the S3 documentation, you say I don't know how long the PDF is. It might be 600 pages, 800 pages. You don't need to know all those functions. So don't let any of these overwhelm you with the richness. Find the smallest set of functions that'll do something that is useful to you. Maybe that doesn't solve all your problems, but get that first little bit going. And after it's going, work on the next piece and the next piece. But to me, the smallest bit of running code you can get is such a that's such a kind of a victory. Figure out what is the simplest equivalent of the hello world. List the bucket, get an object back, put a new object in. Doesn't have to be the world's most amazing thing, but just get something to work. I also say that the hands-on experience is almost always best. You can read a bunch of code, you can read the documentation, you can go through and you can shake your head and say, yes, I kind of get it. But actually get your hands on the keyboard and write that code and actually run it. One thing that, and everybody's mind works a little bit differently, but for me, if I open up some documentation and there's some code in there and it says, well, just copy it here and paste it in, I always just like to type it in myself. That's going to help it make it a little bit more real to me. And then as I'm typing, I'm just going to look at every line and make sure that I actually understand what each line and each statement is really doing.
네, 좋은 말씀 감사합니다. 이 핸즈온 경험이 진짜 중요하고 코드를 이렇게 붙여넣기 하지 말고 직접 손으로 타이핑하라. 이런 말씀이 굉장히 인상적입니다. 사실 제프는 이제 1970년대부터 소프트웨어 개발자로 일을 시작하신 이후에 IT 업계에서 거의 이제 40년 넘게 일을 하고 계신데요. 지금도 기술에 대한 감각을 잊지 않으시면서 이제 현업에서 왕성하게 활동을 하시고 계시잖아요. 저도 그렇게 좀 길게 일을 하고 싶거든요. 어떻게 하면 그렇게 오래 경력을 유지할 수 있을까요?
Well, I don't know. I always like to stay young, and to me, staying young is always being flexible and adapting to something new. Like at any given point, you're going to be using some system, some software, some language, some database, some computer, and it's too easy to think, well, this one's good enough, but I'm going to look forward to the next version and the next version. Never get too stuck on the past. Always look to the future. And so, to me, that's how I am always keeping myself young I almost said as a developer, but I don't think of myself as a developer anymore because it's been too many years since I've really built anything.
네. 나이가 들어도 늘 호기심을 가지고 늘 젊음을 유지하라는 말 명심하겠습니다. 네, 오늘 너무 좋은 말씀 감사드립니다. 마지막으로 이 AWS 서밋 행사에 참여해 주신 분들께 인사 부탁드리겠습니다.
That's it. Well, I thank you for watching, and I really wish you the best at the summit. Do your best to listen and to learn whatever networking opportunities you have to meet new people. It's always a wonderful thing to be able to do. I hope that this has been helpful and informative to you. If it was or if it wasn't, please feel free to track me down on Twitter or on LinkedIn. Send me a note if you watched. I'll always love to meet new folks and just let me know how it went and what you think.
네, 감사합니다, 잽. 네, 아주 뜻깊은 시간이었습니다. 많은 분들에게도 도움이 되었던 것 같습니다.